She said it feels so good. Shout out to nakedwithsockson.com. Shout out to Ansel, man. What up?
FM, definitely, it's a brand new PNC Radio FM, so we got the chat room on there, so definitely we're keeping track of that, so log on to the chat room, go to pncradio.fm, and join in the conversation, make the show really interactive. So as you know, we're up to the Dear NWSO segment on the show, and so I got an interesting letter as always. I'm going to dive right into it. I'm actually going to have my guests chime in on this letter this week. So here it goes. Dear NWSO, it's been a year since my ex broke up with me, and I'm still hurting. Why do women feel that men don't hurt as much as they do when we get our hearts broken? I know I have to get over this at some point, but this breakup is really hurting me. What can I do to get over it? The first thing I find interesting is that it's very rare you hear a guy talking about his feelings and to reach out to look for advice. But the main thing that he brings up that I see a lot of times, women always feel like men have no emotions whatsoever. Like when women hear that men hurt, they're just like, really? You hurt? Like, and it's like we have feelings. We don't show it that often, but we do. I know I can speak for myself. I've been crushed a couple times. I'm sure Jozen, maybe half a time you've been crushed in your life. Three quarters of a time, you know. And Chad, I know you've been crushed before, you know. You're good. And I tried the game for like 2 years, right? Yeah. You know, see? That's pain right there. So I think for him, in terms of trying to get over her, there's no timetable on how long it takes to get over someone. So it's really, I can't say this is going to take this long or to do this. No magic formula. It's sort of like, all right, do this, do that, and boom, you'll be good. He really has to find it in himself where that space is to get over her. I don't know, you know, what kind of relationship it was, how long it was, were they planning to get engaged, were they married? I don't have those details. But I really feel like it'll be, you know, he has to find a distraction. Right now he seems kind of dependent on that relationship. And sometimes in relationships you get caught up so much in the we that you forget the me and you forget the other person. And I feel like that might be where he is right now. He's just so caught up in like, this girl was his life, and now that she's gone, he doesn't know what to do. But I think he just really has to, you know, find a hobby, hang with your boys. No, I'm serious. Like find something to do to distract yourself from that stillness. Because I know when my ex from college, when we broke up, I really had to sit back and be like, I didn't know what to do. I know what we did on Saturday. I know what we went to do during the week. And when it was over, it was like, what do I do? I kind of lost myself in the relationship, so I kind of had to find other things, whether it be video games, whatever, playing ball with your boys, going on other dates, if his heart is in the right spot. Because if he's not really in that right spot, then he's not doing the woman of justice and doing himself of justice in that. But a lot of times, guys, I know I've been there, you just throw yourself into another woman, and that's why women think that we have no feelings.
That's not true. That's kind of true. But women do the same thing with jumping to the next guy sometimes too. But for this, I think an important thing to do is to get out of those relationship rhythms. Like if you're used to talking to her, like that good morning text, or chatting on Facebook and all that, cut it out, delete, block, all that, just done, ruthless. Like, and after a while, you just get used to it. Like you won't even notice that. Ooh, I didn't even miss talking to her this morning. Yeah, get her. Next. There you go.
I think you should embrace the fact that it's taking a year and just accept the fact that sometimes these things do take a lot of time.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be in a rush because you're so, you're ready to move on. And therefore you're fighting what's in your heart, which is that you just can't move on. I do agree with Demetria that you should find ways to switch up your routine. You should find ways to get out of the habits that you had maybe caught on to when you were in a relationship. I agree with you that you should also find a hobby. But understand that, right, that those are all just things that you're doing to get over what is probably like a monumental loss in your life. Especially if it's the first time that you've gone through that sort of thing. You just have to accept the fact that those are the consequences of love. It's like an extended amount of time with the broken heart. It wasn't a casual relationship. It wasn't like that last relationship you were in for like 3 weeks and then it didn't work out. You got over it like 3 weeks later. I have a little theory, and I know other people do that. Sometimes it takes as long as you were in that relationship to to get
Or they say
over
half,
that.
or they say half the time, right?
Or half the time or something like that. So, you know, if it was 2 years and it's only been a year, then you know, you're coming around the bend. So just embrace all that comes with heartbreak and understand that, like, you will get through it eventually, but in order to get through it, don't just lounge in it and bask in it, but in order to get through it, you do have to switch up your routine, you do have to find a hobby.
And I think that's the hard part, like not basking it sometimes, because I know when you're heartbroken, you don't want to go out, you don't want to, you know, sometimes you gotta get your friends to actually take you, like, drag you out the house, like, yo, let's go, let's hang out, let's do something, because like, you can easily, while it's, you know what it is, it's that alone time.
Yeah.
When you don't know it's that idle time, it's like you kind of don't know what to do. You're so used to like, this is what do we do? Like, you know, like you're kind of thinking about the person. And I do agree with Demetria in regards to like social media and all that. Like, stop following her on Twitter. I know mad folks that stalk their exes on Twitter. And the thing is, even if you don't follow them, you can just go to their page. Like, that, you know, look. What are you saying, Chad?
I noticed that a lot too, especially the new Facebook timeline.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell when someone's on your page. The way the new Facebook timeline set up, you could tell who's in their page quite often.
You're on my page a lot then, man. What are you doing on my page?
See what's going on in these streets. See, you're not messing up the brand. But so it's like people do begin stalking on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one thing that you gotta distance yourself. Cause, for example, yesterday, a guy broke with his girlfriend. He added me on Facebook. I knew her. I don't know him like that. I knew they went out together.
Yeah.
He knew me for a year, 2 years, never added me on Facebook, but today he added me on Facebook. And I was like, I had to block him and delete him. Like, without honor, don't do that. Like, don't be a stalker, don't do that. Yeah, so it definitely gotta distance yourself.
But it's hard though. I think it's so easy to follow and be nosy. We become a very voyeuristic society. We just want to look at things. Certain people, I know people that don't like certain people, and they'll purposely follow them. Or they'll go to their page and it's like, oh, I hate this person. Like, why are you on their Twitter timeline? It's like, it's a guilty pleasure. And it's like, and it's hard. I think when you're in a relationship, I think you said it, Jozen, to not actually be Twitter friends or don't follow each other. Like, it just becomes a really hard thing. Because when you're out and about doing your own thing, like, you know, you're tweeting with your friends, and like, if someone is more insecure in that relationship, they're looking like, wait, why are you talking to that person? Where's this picture of you and this person? Why are you doing that? And it becomes all these different questions. Otherwise, I'll be like, hey, go on to the party. I'll call you when I get home, and that's it. But now they're watching the timeline. Mm-hmm. Oh, he asked me to her. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at that picture on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Who liked it? Oh, that girl, she likes all your pictures. And it becomes this big hubbub over nothing, you know? But for this brother, once again, I definitely commend him for being in tune with his emotions, to actually reach out and try to figure it out. A year is a long time, depending on how long you guys are together. But I think the really best advice that I could offer is just him to kind of like just find that space, that groove that isn't with her. You know, that hobby, that, you know, your friends, like, you know, you need to have more than just this relationship as your only relationship.
Right.
I'm not sure how old he is either, but it's like, you know, if this is your first breakup, I can kind of understand. But unfortunately, the longer you go on, you go through a couple breakups, and it doesn't get easier.
And you should stop worrying about what women think of his breakup and his emotions and things like that. Like, confide in the people that you feel with whom you feel most comfortable. Don't worry about women not taking sympathy on your plight. We're always going to misunderstand each other, women and men. So that's just something that you have to deal with. But I found when I had to deal with heartbreak, it was better for me to confide in my boys, because some of them had dealt with it recently as well. And, you know, we're all kind of on the same page, and we're all trying to deal with the emotions in the same way.
There's no judgment.
And there's no judgment either, because when you get to that stage with your really, really close friends, where you're able to actually talk about feelings and you don't worry about getting like cracked on, you can go ahead and open up a little bit, and those guys will be the ones who will support you. Those guys will be the ones that will take you out. Those guys will be the ones who will keep you company just to keep your head straight. So I would suggest to actually confide in your boys a little bit more than women at this time.
Yeah, Demetria, we don't want to talk to.
That's cool. But I think it sounds like it could also be, he's one of those guys that meets a girl and everything's all good on the first date and you're still on water. And he's like, yeah, man, and she broke my heart and it was really sad and I didn't leave my room for 5 days. It's like, whoa, okay, yeah, you know what, we should leave now. Like, I mean, you do have to just let that go. He might not be ready to talk to other women right now, and that's fine. And he should probably stop thinking about whether it's been a year or 6 months or 5 months or whatever, and just let it be. And one day he's gonna wake up and it's gonna be all good, and he doesn't have to think about like, oh, it's been 367 days since I've talked to her.
It just happens. It just happens.
Right.
You never sit there like, you know what, like, wake up one morning like, yeah, okay, I think I'm over her now. It just kind of does happen. So eventually, just keep the faith, brother, and I think it'll eventually happen. So definitely, hopefully that answered your question. I wish you the best of luck. And as always, if you want to send me questions for the NWSO segment, you can hit me on FormSpring, which is formspring.me/NWSO. We keep it locked. This Naked Radio Show on PNCRadio.fm. And don't forget, hit that chat room, PNCRadio.fm. All right? Peace.
Shout out to NWSO.com. Shout out to Ansel, man. What up? I got her naked with her socks on while we chillin', blowing sticky, eating popcorn. Deep up in it, far from finish, I don't stop going. 2 a.m. roll around, I'm still in top form.